Hey all, this is Heath Houseman with nmpolitics.net, and today I want to talk to you about a culture group in America that doesn't get enough attention, Native Americans. All of our tax dollars, yours, mine, everybody's, funds systematic oppression of Native people today, and the effects are clear. Native people are even more likely than black people to die in officer-involved shootings. Young Native people die at a rate of suicide that is much higher than the national average. The poverty on the Navajo Nation is approaching 50%, and the Gold King mine spill last year made that even worse. With that in mind, I want to show you where I am in El Paso, Texas, and this right behind me, this is Juan de Oñate, Spanish conqueror. I wrote a column about him last year. I wrote a column about this statue. Let me show it to you again. It's 36 feet tall. It's the largest bronze equestrian in the world. It's massive. You can see behind me a tower that welcomes people to El Paso, and the El Paso International Airport is behind it. The city of El Paso spent millions of dollars on this thing as the way to welcome people to the borderlands, and it is massive. And the column I wrote last year, I argued that we should take statues like these down. I wrote it at a time when the South was having a debate about the Confederate flag in South Carolina, and since then I've been in Atlanta and I've been in New Orleans, and in both places those cities are having discussions about statues of Confederate war generals and other people viewed as heroes of the Confederacy. Should those stay up or not? And some of them are coming down, and I believe that a statue like this is appropriate in a museum. It's something we recognize and learn about and honor as part of our history, but not celebrate. Oñate was a tyrant in a lot of ways. He slaughtered Native people at Acoma Pueblo, and he ushered in an era of conquest, what I like to call bicultural conquest, that began with the Spaniards, continued with the Americans, us, here today, and it's led to really unfortunate situations for Native people, Native communities, Native culture. There's a second statue north of Espanola, but it's much smaller than this one of Oñate. This one is Texas sized, and there are also schools in New Mexico, in Las Cruces and Gallup, named for Oñate, and I wonder if you're a Native person. It makes me think about when Native kids are already at a higher rate of suicide, risk of suicide and other things, what's the message we send when we name a school that Native kids attend after Oñate? So I want to walk you around this thing just a little bit and give you a little bit of perspective on it. It's called the Equestrian. You can see it here. The sculptor is John Sherrill Hauser, dedicated April 21st, 2007 at the El Paso International Airport. If we come around to this side, there are a number of plaques, people who helped make this possible. And I want to stop on one in particular right here. The Travelers Memorial of the Southwest commemorates the shared history of Spain, Mexico, and the United States at El Paso del Norte. This monument was the second in the series of 12 and recognizes the Spanish colonization of Nuevo Mexico, the first wave of Hispanic immigration to the Southwest in 1598. So if you could see behind me here, and I'll hold this up, Oñate is holding the proclamation right there from the King of Spain, declaring that this territory was Spain's, declaring that New Mexico was Spain's. And I just wanted you to see this Texas-sized, what I view as a celebration. Think about people flying in from the El Paso International Airport. This is intended to be, that tower on the other side says, "Welcome to El Paso," and then this is what they see. You think about now the Mexican borders behind me, immigrants, legal, illegal, otherwise, coming into this country, and this is what El Paso, Texas intends them to see. Hey, we remember you. I mean, maybe that's a little bit glib, but I think the message can reasonably be heard that way. And so that's it. Thanks for going on this tour with me. I was in El Paso and just wanted to show you the visual that was behind the column I wrote last year, and I hope that helps us think a little more deeply about the conditions that Native people in the United States live in, and maybe empathize a little better and think a little differently about what we do. So Thanks for your time, and I welcome your opinions. I'll post a link at the bottom of this YouTube video to the column I wrote last year if you're interested in reading more.